All right, crew. Today I wanted to discuss with you just a little bit about my recent purchase, a new vehicle. Me and the wife decided that we really wanted to get a Tesla. It's our first nice car that I've ever bought in my entire life. I'm 34 years old, paid off my student loans, did all the responsible things in life, and pre-kid decided to get a Tesla. So it's kudos for me and my wife, right? That being said, I learned quite a bit. We've been shopping for a Tesla Model S for quite some time, and we decided that buying a used Tesla would probably be the way we would go because we both really liked the Model S. For very particular reasons, but one just because the Model 3 and the Model Y had really aggressive, like not braking, but the regenerative part when you take your foot off the gas, it's very aggressive. Initially, we didn't like that. I think now it wouldn't have been such a big negative. But initially that's what we thought. So anyway, we decided that the Model S was the way we wanted to go. And so we were looking at the 2018s because there was a lot of really good enhancements in 2018. One of them just being like all-wheel drive. We wanted to make sure that we captured that, as well as just some of the other like manufacturing perks. So, but here's my top 5 reasons why I think you should buy a used Tesla. If you're looking for a Tesla, if you're buying a used Tesla, why you should buy it from Tesla Direct. First and foremost, you get an extra warranty, right? So you get an extra year warranty on the vehicle when you purchase it. You don't get any warranties when you're looking at third party or private party, right? It just kind of is what it is. If it's an 18, you get to resume the warranty that came with the vehicle, which maybe has like a year or two left. If you're buying it in 2021, depending on when it was made, you have like a year and a half, let's just say. So now I have 2.5, right? Almost 3 years on the vehicle. Number 2, the service that you get when you buy a used vehicle from Tesla is actually pretty good. Granted that the whole COVID handoff and the whole hands-free kind of handoff was very awkward. After the fact, when I was able to drive the car for the first 3 days, the first 100 miles, you get to report all the stuff that you feel like is wrong with the vehicle. And I literally just reported everything that I thought I didn't like about it, which was only a few things. One of them was the center console. The center display. It looked like it was peeling, like there was something wrong with it. Well, it turns out it was just a new display, and they hadn't taken off the cover yet. But the cover was like that clear cover over the monitor, but the cover was inside of the bezel, and I couldn't get it. And I was like, man, is this thing bad? So I reported that. They just figured out that it was the cover, and it was no big deal. But hey, another thing that happened was like this rear panel door, or the rear lower panel, plastic panel on the driver's side left-hand door popped off like when you stepped on it. Turns out it was actually broken. They came and fixed it free of charge. When I initially got the car, they had me drop it off for a day. They gave me a rental car for the 24-hour period that they had my vehicle. So there's a lot of really convenient things about buying from Tesla. I think those two are extremely valid. The third one is the price. So, when you go to a third-party dealer and you look at some of the prices, and I went to a lot of them, and I tried negotiating, and all that jazz. And I'm not saying I didn't do a bad job. I'm probably not the best at negotiating, but we were looking at this 2018 Tesla Model S with basically the equivalent standards that the one I purchased. And it was listed for like $43,900. We get there, we test drive it. We're super excited. We're talking with the salesperson. My wife's excited. I'm excited. Like, hey, we're gonna go home with the car today. This is gonna be great. And then there's $3,600 in dealer fees. And they say, well, we can do that because there's not that many dealers around us in Temecula. And I was just like, you gotta be kidding me, right? $3,600. What'd you do to it? Change the oil? What oil is there to change? Oh, we put a Teflon coat on the car. It's at least $2,000. And I was like, come on, guys, what is this really worth? $3,600. Needless to say, we didn't buy the car there. Like, how ridiculous. There was more fees on top of that, too. It was just like one thing after another. I got to tell you, when I bought my vehicle from Tesla, I got the price right there that I clicked and bought it for. So that whole experience of driving and going to these third-party dealers and then negotiating a price and then paying the dealer fees and on and on and on, and they get you for this and they get you for that. That's really where they make all their money. So buying direct was a very good experience. Let's talk a little bit about the car itself, the quality of the vehicle. So, I don't know this for sure, but I can definitely suspect. I've looked at tons of Model 3s and X's. We were looking at X's for a while too. like I've looked at a lot of vehicles, and especially from like third party dealers and private party. Most Model S's and Model X's that I found had lots of issues or lots of problems, like door misalignments or just dents and scratches and plastic falling off here and there. And it just looked like none of them looked like the $50,000 or $60,000 car that I was going to buy. It's like, man, $60,000 is a lot of money for a car, or 50 or 40, whatever. All of those are a lot of money, and it just something wasn't vibing right. And I was just like, this can't be right. So I went and looked at some Tesla vehicles from Tesla. There's like a local dealership, and all those cars are immaculate. And so this has led me to believe that really what happens in the background is that when a lease vehicle comes into Tesla and they decide whether or not they want that car to go to auction or they want to keep it and sell it for on their side, on the Tesla use side, really is the differentiator between, well, this car was taken care of and this car wasn't taken care of, right? Or this is a really nice Tesla and this is just one that's been abused, or maybe that one that's really rough on the outside. And that's how they like split the seas there, right? So in other words, all these third-party dealers and Manheim and all that, and I shop Manheim too, they're just kind of getting the discards that Tesla doesn't want, and Tesla's keeping the cream of the crop for their inventory, their used inventory online, which means that when you make that pick and click, and I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous. I bought a car with a click that I'd never seen before, that you're really getting the best that there is. Okay, now the fifth and final thing that I wanted to talk about was features. Now, when you go to a third-party dealer or you go buy a car private party, essentially what can happen is that the features can be removed from the vehicle that were initially purchased with it, but because you didn't buy the vehicle, you don't get it. And there's a liability factor in there too, either by Tesla or the dealer. I'm not exactly sure. But when you go to a third-party dealer and that Tesla has been on the lot for a while, it's gotten updated. When it gets updated, things like autopilot and FS, full self-driving, get removed from the vehicle until someone repurchases the vehicle. Now it's unbeknownst whether you get those features back or not. Now it seems like you always get the autopilot back if you like put in the request. I have heard of people paying like up to $1,000 to get the autopilot back, or in some cases $2,000. This is like Reddit stuff. Not exactly sure. As I bought my Tesla directly from Tesla, I knew exactly what features I was getting. But in some other instances that I read on internet forums, someone purchased a third-party vehicle that had full self-driving, and then when they took the car home and did the updates, their app feature didn't, their like Tesla account app didn't recognize that they had full self-driving, so that correlates to all these other issues. Another thing with features is that a lot of the Model 3s that were on the Tesla website automatically included full self-driving. So it seems like even if the car wasn't purchased with full self-driving, that Tesla was making that upgrade for you and then selling the car used that way. So these are all just really interesting things that I 2020, hindsight's 2020, that looking back, I was like, man, I'm really glad that I purchased from Tesla Direct. And I wouldn't have changed anything. I got a heck of a price on it. I shopped it out for 3 months. And when I found the car I wanted, in the color that I wanted, with all the features that I wanted, at the price that I wanted to pay, I just clicked and bought it right away. Had to pay a small transfer fee to get it from NorCal to SoCal, but I was willing to live with that. And man, this thing's a rocket ship. It is definitely a nice car. Like when you get in this car, it feels like an $80,000 car. Granted that it's used and I didn't pay $80,000 for it, I feel like I got a great bargain. Hey, my name's Adam Hughes. I hope you enjoyed some of my advice about buying Teslas and looking at Teslas. I'm really happy with mine. If you stick around, I'll show you some video and imagery of my recent purchase. Gotta love it. Thanks for watching.